Good evening, Slashaholics, and welcome to episode number 12 of Slash Trax Action News. But before we get into the show, we need to get into the business of the 80s slasher librarian wearing the Hot Rod shirt with it. Yeah, look at him over there. He's a wild card. We had no idea what he was going to do. So I challenged him in my Hulkamania shirt to a podcast battle of the ages. And that battle is going to be brought to you by 80stees.com, unofficially. They don't know that they're sponsoring the battle. They only sponsor the show as of the moment right now. Yeah, they don't know yet. So we're going to have to do some business. But the first thing I need to do, dude, is take down that big stinky giant over there. Look at him, in the Hot Rod shirt. If 80stees.com made a leather jacket, I bet you Josh would buy it.
Yes,
just like Hot Rod's jacket.
And now that my hair is getting long, I think I'm going to be Roddy Piper for Halloween. I think that's going to be... get me a kilt and a jacket and...
Dude, you're almost WrestleMania 8 Hot Rod right now. His physique and hair was elite Piper at WrestleMania 8 when he took on Bret Hart for the IC belt.
That was one of the best matches ever.
Yeah.
And, 80stees.com has some of the best shirts ever. You can find stuff there from all your favorite movies.
Cartoon shows?
TV shows?
Horror movies?
Video games? And more. You're going to find something there that you like. You're going to find something there that you love. It's 80stees.com. It's not just 80s, though. There's stuff from all the decades. There's even more than just shirts there. Just go there, check it out. And, Alex, how are they going to save some money at checkout?
Well, just by watching the show and being a Slashaholic, they can use the code SlashTrax30.
SlashTrax30. And what does that get them?
30% off their purchase. But you know what? Not just 30% off their purchase. By saving so much money in the economy that we're in, they're going to be having peace of mind after the purchase. They're not going to be stressing about going to 80s Tees and looking super good after they buy their shirts. They're going to be able to sleep at night, Josh.
Oh, yeah. And these things are so comfortable you can sleep in them. It's like a second skin. I love it. I'm not just saying this because they sponsor us, but this is one of the most comfortable shirts I've ever had. It really is. There's no itch, anything like that. It's the printing is amazing. And, I feel like I'm embodying Hot Rod Roddy Piper when I'm wearing his shirt here. Dude, it's time to give a reality check.
Yeah, it's just like the Underoos commercial when we were kids. Like, as soon as we put on the 80s T-shirts, we turn into the cartoon version of the superhero or wrestler that we're wearing the shirt of.
Let's hear your Hulk Hogan before the intro.
What you gonna do, brother, when the Slashaholics... Josh, Roddy Piper, Alex, Hogan, and the Slashamania runs wild on you.
Now check out the animated intro, and we'll be right back with the news.
Good evening and welcome to episode number 12 of Slash Trax Action News. I'm Alex Vanover.
And I'm Josh LaRue.
It's good to see you, Josh, on another beautiful evening, such as it is today. How you doing over there, buddy?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm in Arkansas, and it's 108 degrees before the heat index outside. Like, I'm Whew, I'm sweating. But no, it's a nice summer day. Lucky to be alive. Lucky to be doing this show with a great friend. So
I'll tell you what you're lucky for today is not leaving your soda outside any longer than you did before we started filming the show, because that shit was about ready to explode. I guarantee it.
Dude, when I got it out, it was boiling. Like, it was bubbling. It was boiling in the bottle. No, it was really hot. Like, it had only been out there 2 hours, and I put it in the freezer. We were recording, you're going to see it on the channel, folks. We were recording the unboxing of Horror Pack, which you should check out as well, horrorpack.com. There's some great people. And I had this thing in the freezer, and I went to get it out afterwards, and it was still hot. And it had been in the freezer for like 40 minutes, you know. So yeah, it's hot where I'm at. What's it like over in your neck of the woods in Oregon?
It's in the 80s. Yesterday was 87 in the morning, so it's a lot cooler today than it was yesterday. I was going to say, though, like, there are some people, like, on Blast from the Past, didn't Brendan Fraser and his family that were stuck in the bomb shelter there, didn't they drink hot Dr. Pepper? Do you remember that movie? Yeah, they drank hot Dr. Pepper.
I love that movie.
Christopher Walken is his dad, and I think he's the one who's, like, drinking hot Dr. Pepper all the time. But I was going to say to Josh, he's lucky those didn't explode, but at least they were outside, because when I worked in Salem, which is the state capital of Oregon, which is the state I live in, I left some cans of soda in the car, and it got super hot, and the cans exploded all over the interior of my car. And I didn't just do that once. I didn't learn my lesson at all. I did it again like the next week because I would like bring sodas to work because they had like Coke products or Pepsi products. They had something I didn't want, so I brought the opposite because I just got sick of drinking the same stuff at the restaurant over and over. So I'm like, I'm gonna bring this can of soda and it's gonna be a great night at work. And I forgot it and it exploded and my girlfriend was pissed. So yeah, that was great.
Hey, people say we don't do a weather segment on here. There was your Slash Trax weather.
Yeah, first one so far in 12 episodes. We're very consistent with our weather updates.
Hot as hell in Arkansas.
Kind of hot in Oregon.
Folks, be sure to go to our Patreon, patreon.com/80slasherlibrarian. You can support the channel there, and it's going to help us keep pumping out these episodes, and it's going to keep the channel going and growing for years to come. So we'd appreciate you checking out our Patreon.
Yeah, and not just the Patreon, but also big thanks to 80stees.com for sponsoring the show. For anyone that follows us or watches the show or watches Slash Trax or watches anything we put out, we've been putting out more and more content quicker and faster lately, and that has almost everything to do with 80stees.com. So big thank you to 80stees for, sponsoring the show and partnering with us. And so far, it's been a lot of fun, and it's been great. And Josh, what shirt are you wearing right now? You're wearing the
Hot Rod, Roddy Piper.
Yeah, no secret that Josh loves Hot Rod. And it's also, if you pay attention to the show when we talk about this guy, I think it's no secret that I'm a Hulkamaniac. So we got a WrestleMania 1 battle going tonight for episode 12.
I've got Mr. Wonderful in my corner over here.
Yeah,
you got Mr. T hiding?
Yeah, no, you got the ace, Cowboy Bob Orton over there with the freaking cast on. Yeah, with the cast on his arm. He had a broken arm for about 3 years, so he could just waffle all the baby faces with it.
I had a shaved head for 3 months when I was wrestling. I lost a hair versus hair match, and the crowd loved me getting my hair cut so much that I kept shaving it. We did a show like every weekend, and they were calling me Baldy, and I was like acting like it meant, no, don't look at my head. And, after like 3 weeks, they're still doing it. And in 2 months, I'm like, did these people not realize my hair would have grown back by now? That I'm doing this for them. It was fun. It was fun.
Those hair versus hair matches, like in the old 80s, WCW and WWF, it was always like, I always thought it was funny, like, the wrestler would have super long hair before, like, way longer than it would have been had they have just had normal hair before the hair versus hair match, and then he'd lose, and the heel would cut it, and all of a sudden the babyface has a new shorter haircut, and it's like they did that. They were planning that hair versus hair match like a year in advance. Like that was booked like a year in advance. You ever notice that? Like looking back on those things.
And a lot of them too, you can always tell, who's going to win it and who's going to lose it. Because sometimes one of them will have like hair that's not special at all, and one of them will have like really special hair.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the stakes for the guy that has like the normal haircut that don't give a shit?
Yeah, exactly.
Brutus Beefcake.
I was just going to say Brutus Beefcake at SummerSlam.
He got his name. His namesake, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, came from a hair versus hair match where that's where it came from. He wasn't the barber until that, and that's what he's most known for. That and his like 20,000 gimmicks in WCW.
He was a Chippendales dancer. Like when he was on the Dream Team with Greg Valentine in the early '80s when they were the tag team champions, he wasn't the barber yet. Like Josh said, he was literally, his gimmick was that he was like a dancer at a male stripper review.
And he was
Beefcake.
Ed Leslie was Hulk Hogan's best friend, for anybody that doesn't know that.
Yeah.
Hogan took him everywhere, from WWF to WCW. A lot of people didn't even realize that the disciple was Brutus Beefcake. Because a lot of people didn't know that.
The beard, the tan, the long hair.
Yeah, people didn't realize that was Brutus Beefcake, but yeah.
He was
that
also
was like gimmick number 10,000 for him.
Well, yeah, he was the booty man in WCW also.
The man with no name, the Zodiac Man. He had so many names.
He's in the Hall of Fame for the WWE. He's in the frickin' Hall of Fame.
I'm sure Hogan played a part in that.
Demolition isn't in the Hall of Fame, but Brutus the Barber is. Demolition will probably never be in the Hall of Fame because they sued WWF for the concussion stuff, but...
Brutus was supposed to win the Intercontinental Championship the night that Warrior won it from Honky Tonk Man.
Yeah, I knew that.
But he had shattered his face in a a gliding accident or something?
He had a jet ski pop up and hit him.
Jet ski, yeah.
Right in the face and broke his orbital socket and from what I read, Josh, was when he was on the operating table, they had to piece together his face, reconstruct the entire thing.
Yeah, he was going to finally get a push to the championship, and Warrior got it instead, and the rest is history. Hot Rod is somebody that only had, you think he had a bunch of championships, but he was only the IC champion once.
Hot Rod didn't need a belt.
There's so many wrestlers that don't need a belt.
He didn't need a belt.
Jake the Snake Roberts did not need a belt. But
Undertaker.
I'm doing all this pro wrestling stuff. I didn't mean to get you off your format.
No, you get me talking about pro wrestling, and I'll start talking about it. But let's start the first segment of the night. Let's do nice comment, mean comment.
Nice comment, mean comment on Slash Trax.
Did you
see that one that I said, can we make this the nice comment and the mean comment?
Yeah, I did see that. I didn't use that one, but yes, I saw that one because he psyched us out. It was almost the voice. It was like a voice machine message where he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And it's like, "Gotcha. I'm not here."
Wow, you guys suck.
Yeah.
And then space. You guys are awesome. Blah blah. So you got us.
He got us. Gotcha, bitch. Yeah, he got us. Let's do a compliment sandwich because we have 2 nice comments and 1 mean comment. And believe it or not, we had 1 mean comment for the entire week. Yeah, for the whole week. Yep, for the whole week. So let's start it. Nice comment. Now this is referring to the season finale of season 2 for Slash Trax, the riff show we do. So it says, most fun with a riff outside of Mystery Science Theater. Hand clap, finger pointing down at his comment, and that was on Blood Wings. So
hands down?
Loved it, yeah. Hands down, clapping, hands down.
Thank you.
Yeah, and his name was Cybersy. So SYBERSYY.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that means a lot. We put a lot of work into. Well, not a lot of. We have a lot of fun with the riffing. It's all our first response. We don't write a script. Like they do in Mystery Science Theater or Riff Tracks. Everything you hear on our riffing.
First reaction.
First reaction. So if something lands, or if it fails, it's our first reaction. We give you the natural reaction to the movie. We're never going to write a script for our riffing, so we hope you enjoy and get a lot of good laughs out of it.
It's the closest thing that I think that friends will get together and watch movies, and they'll do the same thing we're doing. They'll make fun of certain movies. They'll throw jokes off one another,
Do you do that to Nicole when you're watching something? You can't turn it off.
So Lifetime movies, like Nicole loves Lifetime movies, so that's how I came up with the idea for us to do Trash Tracks, which we haven't done yet. But I really hope we do someday. So Master Evil is supposedly gonna give us another channel, and it's gonna be a Lifetime network. So when we're not watching bad horror movies in his attempt to break our sanity, he's going to allow us to watch the Lifetime movie network. So,
oh, God.
Yeah, so Nicole and I were watching some Lifetime movies one day, and I just couldn't shut up because some of those movies are just ridiculous. So I just was riffing it, driving her nuts because it was like her day off, and she loves those movies. Yeah. And I said, I got to talk to Josh. As soon as this movie's over, I got to call Josh, and I got to pitch this idea to him because this is going to be great.
I'd love to do it to those movies on Lifetime and stuff and Hallmark, where it's like the real story of Saved by the Bell or Full House. You know, and it's like really bad actors.
They're always unauthorized. It's never
unauthorized.
Yeah, it's never. It's like Dustin Diamond. This is his perspective, his point of view, and like, of course, like. Everybody treated him like crap on the set. He was the outcast, which may all be true. It may all be true.
They were teenagers. I mean, teenagers are mean.
Yeah, and he was the least attractive of the six, and he was the youngest of the six.
Yeah.
And I was 5 years younger than my brother, and all I wanted to do was hang out with my brother, and he wanted nothing to do with that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Maybe
they were. Peace.
Oh yeah, rest in peace, Screech. Dustin Diamond, by the way, he at the time, I think he was the only one to appear in like almost every episode until the new reboot. He was in almost all the new Class episodes. He was in the college years, and he was in Miss Bliss and Saved by the Bell. So he was in
the movie
and the movies. Yeah, Hawaiian Style, Vegas Wedding, all that crap. Anyway,
I catch myself ripping on stuff, and Beth she likes it. She doesn't get on to me for it, but like even Stranger Things, we were rewatching it. And in season 2, when Will is infected by the mind flayer, and he's telling his mom it hurts, and she's like, "Where?" And he goes, "Everywhere." And she goes, "Where though?" And he's like, "Everywhere." And I'm like, "Here, Will, show me on the doll where the mind flayer touched you."
Yeah. Where did Vecna? We didn't even know it was Vecna in season 2. Where did Vecna touch you, Will?
So now, like that's like our little inside joke. It's like, "Are you okay?" "Yeah, I'm just not feeling good." Everywhere.
I'm in the upside down right now. I'm in hell. All right, so we just did good comment, nice comment. Let's do mean comment.
Oh God.
Wake me up when it gets interesting. And this is from Burke Khan Yalim.
What was that on?
That was on the podcast, episode number 11. So, in a sea, there's like 300 plus comments. There's over 4,200 likes on the most recent Slash Trax Action News episode. This is the one guy who just wanted to say something shitty.
Maybe he wanted to be mentioned,
Well, he's mentioned now. I hope he tunes in just so we can tell him to fuck right off. Yeah, see you later. Fuck off, buddy. So Berkey Ken Yalim, or whatever his name is, he can't fuck right off. That's his name. not gonna work here anymore.
Wake up, it's interesting.
Yeah, see you later, dude. He's the one guy who just wants to shit on everything. It's like, oh, I'm having a really good time. So am I. Oh, I enjoy this. And he's like, did you know that watching Slash Trax? Well, like he's Debbie Downer. He's that guy.
He's probably our one thumbs down on that episode.
Good.
Out of 4,200 something likes.
He's all, yeah, maybe Josh or I slept with his girlfriend in the past or something. Maybe he knows something that we don't know. I don't know. It's very possible. We were talking about blackouts back, like, before we started filming the show.
Yeah, like if you would quit drinking so much, dude, or smoking weed before you watch a podcast, you would fall asleep and need somebody to wake you up.
Yeah, dude, maybe you blacked out. You missed all the good shit, dude. You missed it all.
Sauce.
All right, and then let's end this segment with a nice comment because I gotta cleanse my palate. The world needs good podcasts like this, and this is by Bersisi.
Oh.
And that's you know what? That's pretty straight to the point, and it's not like flashy, but that's a really, really nice compliment, and I appreciate that kind of stuff because we like to have fun, and we like other people to have fun. World's too heavy. There's too many heavy stories. this kind of stuff is what the world needs. We need to have fun. We need to unwind a bit and just kind of unplug a little bit. So if we can help somebody's day go just a little bit better by being goofy and talking about random shit, then I'm all for it.
And, we'll say hello to a couple of our regulars out there, Prexera, Michael Clark.
What's up, Prexera? Prexera just got a third mention in 12 episodes. Pretty soon, Prexera's name's going to be in the credits.
Yeah, right? Produced by Prexera.
Produced in memory, he's not even dead, in loving memory of Prexera and his great, nice comments. Let's get in some fun facts.
All
right. First real serious segment of the night here. Microscopic mites right now are currently living on and having sex on your face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they pay for the privilege, though, so...
Well, your face is like a seedy motel. Mine's like the Ritz. Mine's like a really nice hotel where these mites are boning down on.
No, there has to be so many organisms just on everything, So you found a news story where they tell people that these things are getting it on your face. Just our face or the rest of our body?
Well, it's face as an emphasis, but if it's on your face, it's probably on every other part of your body. And also, to piggyback on this fun fact, like one of the worst places you'd think like touching a hotel bathroom, like bathroom toilet, would be the most dangerous place to touch. It's actually the remote, because everybody touches the remote. And in a gym, like the filthiest place to touch isn't the front desk, it isn't the phone, it isn't anything. It's the dumbbell rack.
Yeah.
The dumbbell rack.
Wait a second. Are those mites getting it on our privates while we're getting it on with the person?
Yeah, so you're
while
always
we're getting
involved.
it on with the person, are the mites getting it on them?
Yes. So every time you have sex, in actuality, you are having an orgy with mites. It's a fact, and we covered
orgy
fun
mites.
Facts.
It's in the title.
Yeah, orgy mites versus nuclear grizzlies versus coked out bees.
Murder hornets.
Man, the orgy mites, you don't even know that they're attacking you. They're just like having just a grand old time right on your face, dude. They're blasting their little mite balls all over your forehead and in your mouth and your eyes. You have no idea, dude. No consent. No consent given.
It's so funny that you talked about coke and orgies, because recently, I'm not going to say any names or get political.
Recently, I just went to a coke-filled orgy, Alex.
A GOP congressman who who lost his primary to get reelected, came out a few months ago and told the world about how a lot of the GOP members in the House and Senate have orgies.
Okay.
And cocaine parties with orgies. And that he wasn't invited.
He was pissed off that he didn't get the invitation.
He got invited once, but they had been doing it so long, and it was like right towards the end, and he turned it down for moral reasons. But he was outraged. It's funny that he didn't mention this until he lost his election. And he's on his way out. But so there you go. Think about a bunch of old wrinkly men having, snorting cocaine and having orgies.
This is like
telling us what to do with our bodies.
This is like that movie Society, what you just described, the horror movie Society, where there's like a picture. My God. Yeah, where there's like a picture of a guy's head coming out of some dude's ass, but it's like a head ass. They're like aliens. They're like the rich people in your neighborhood, but they're all aliens sleeping with each other. If you haven't seen Society, do yourself a favor. Yeah, watch it and tell me. The only person there's two people I recognize in that film. The main star, the young man, it was on Baywatch, and then the blonde-haired girl who plays his girlfriend was one of the victims in Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. She was the rich girl who's he's like, do you only sleep with me because of such and such? And she's like, I sleep with you because of your big wallet. She had like a huge part in that film.
I'm not trying to brag, but Society is based on my family, okay?
Yeah.
We've always got our head far up our ass. They
Trump
just make
alert.
monsters.
Trump alert. Here we go. Josh got it in like 10 minutes in this time instead of 5.
Trump alert. That's the name his family changed to Trump when they moved here. to America. It was DRUP or DRUMPF, Drumpf.
Okay.
That would be funny if that was still the name.
Can I say one more thing about this fun fact real quick?
Oh, yes, about the mic orgies. What do we got?
The reason that one guy, the guy who ran for whatever political seat he was running for and then lost it, the reason he didn't get invited to all the orgies before, even before he lost, was because he opened his big fat mouth and now he's talking about the orgies. Rule number 1 about orgies: you don't talk about orgies. He blew it. He fucking blew it. That's his own fault.
Here's the saddest part, Alex. He's in a wheelchair, and I wonder if that played into the reason they didn't invite him to the orgy. You know, they not have a ramp at the orgy.
It wasn't wheelchair accessible for the orgy. Also, if they were worried that he wasn't going to be able to perform at said orgy, he's probably a millionaire, so he could get himself a bionic penis, I'm sure.
Right.
Or he could get bit by the wandering spider. Josh and I talked about that in a previous episode where if you get bit by the Australian or African wandering spider, it'll leave you with an erection for 12 hours straight. So I'm sure he has access to Viagra, wandering spiders, bionic penises. This is just him and his big fat mouth talking about orgies he's not supposed to talk about.
Did someone say my name? Did someone say my name?
Yeah. So
I heard big fat mouth. I'm sorry.
He needs to get his shit together, or he's not going to be invited to any more orgies in the future. He should learn from his mistakes.
Or the GOP and that guy that looks like a turtle, Mitch McConnell, who I just picture that guy running the orgy. You know, they need to get a ramp so they're wheelchair accessible to their coke.
Yeah, they're like, listen, we would have you come to the orgy, but you talked about it when we told you not to, and we're not equipped to have you show up in your wheelchair. We're sorry.
That's rule number 1 about coke orgy. You don't talk about coke orgy.
Exactly. And you know what else you don't talk about that we're going to talk about right now? The ancient Greeks. Josh, they made dildos out of bread.
Is that where yeast infection started? It
is, and it's also where the world's first sourdough loaf was created. You like that one, huh?
And that's where they made the first tuna sub, too, right?
Yeah, they broke a lot of ground when they made bread.
Yeah, a lot of bread. They broke a lot of ground and a lot of bread.
Josh,
how
go
did
ahead.
They do that?
I don't know how they did it. I didn't look into it that deep. I saw the ancient Greeks made dildos out of bread, and I saw it in my research, and I was like, I immediately thought of sourdough. I was like, so I thought of that joke yesterday when I was writing the rundown. I just I gotta hit him with the punchline immediately.
What if they made the little gingerbread man? as fast as can be. You can never fuck me.
They better be careful putting a gingerbread up there, Yahoo, because what if the arm breaks off or the leg or something?
What if how does that work? Any ancient Greeks watching our show, please explain to us how your bread dildo works.
Yeah, get out of your frickin' tomb right now and
prisons want to know.
Yeah, listen,
how this works.
Tomb. I said tomb like they're Egyptians. If there's a dead ancient Greek right now, answer your Skype and get on this episode right now. Damn it. The Slashaholics demand an answer. Josh, did you know that hydrogen sulfide, the gas that makes farts smell bad, can help prevent heart attacks, strokes, cancer, and dementia?
I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah. So every time we complain about somebody farting or, oh, your farts smell bad, or get out of here, or my girlfriend always says, if I'm farting too much, go sit on the bowl. Go sit on the toilet bowl and fart in the bowl.
Like you're training?
I have to poop or something. A lot of people, when you're farting, you don't have to poop. But
especially early in the morning.
Yeah, she'll be like, go sit on the bowl. Just go fart in the bowl. And it's super rude of her. And
I go to the kitchen and grab a bowl out of the cabinet.
Yeah, fart in the cereal bowl. No, the toilet bowl. What she doesn't realize, Josh, is that I'm actually helping her out, her health, her overall health. So she's being rude to me when I'm helping prevent her chances of a stroke, dementia, and heart attacks by farting.
Yeah, you're out there running, saving your own life and getting in shape, but you're also saving the people, running behind you.
Yeah, because we covered last episode that when I run, it shakes up your tummy. I'm sorry, it does, and everybody knows that. Your tummy gets shaken up like a soda can, setting out in 108-degree heat in Arkansas outside of Josh's car, and it's about ready to pop. So if I'm farting while I'm outside running, just run faster. You should use it as motivation to run. If you don't want to eat my farts, run faster. I'm sorry. Do you have anything else to say about farts helping people's overall health?
I got nothing.
All right.
Have you really had somebody say, "Oh my God, your fart smells so bad," the way you said it a second ago?
I've had many people tell me my farts
exactly like that though. Like, oh my, that is so bad.
Like they're trying not to be rude, but they're so disgusted that they have to say something. But they're very polite.
Excuse me, sir.
Your farts are offensive to me.
And we're on an elevator, damn it.
Yeah, I'm just eating your farts. All right. The creator of the Game Boy was originally Nintendo's janitor.
You know, I think I heard that. And Kirby was named after their lawyer. That's crazy.
There was another kind of thing that I've read, and now I don't remember the exacts about this, but it was either Fritos or Cheetos or Lay's. I can't remember. There was a janitor that worked for the Frito-Lay company, or it might have been Doritos, but he would bring a certain type of seasoning from his own house, and he put them on chips. And I think it was Flaming Hot. If I don't quote me, but I think it was Flaming Hot. So he made his own Flaming Hot Doritos or Cheetos. And he just happened to be sitting next to an executive in the lunchroom. And he tried it, and that was the birth of like a super popular chip.
Wow.
And now he's like a big-time executive himself working for, like, so don't quote me, I don't remember the exact specifics, but the janitor for the Frito-Lay or Dorito company created one of their most popular chips because he brought his own seasoning from his house. Yeah. So
the John Kirby guy that I was talking about, Alex, he whenever Universal sued Nintendo for Donkey Kong,
okay,
John Kirby came in and proved that not only were they not, stealing the copyright from King Kong, but he also proved that Universal had lost the rights to King Kong. They didn't realize it, but they had let it lapse.
Oh, boy.
That's why Universal made the 1970s one or whatever. Or no, this was after that. Anyways, John Kirby went in there and totally won for Nintendo, made Universal look horrible.
Yeah.
Made them look really stupid. And so Nintendo named Kirby after their attorney. So Kirby, the little air puff thing.
Yeah.
But I'm curious how a janitor created a Game Boy. Did he come up with the design?
No, and I didn't. You're seeing a flaw in my rundowns here. I go for the headlines. No, I didn't see how he did it or what. I should have. I apologize to the Slashaholics.
Said, why don't y'all make it where you can carry it around? I'd like to have something when I'm working or something.
Or Game Boys, from my experience when we were kids, Game Boys were pretty fun. They ran out of batteries pretty fast. Yeah, they ran out of batteries pretty fast. You needed to have the little magnifying glass thing sometimes to see the screen a little better. And I remember...
in the dark.
Yeah, I remember Game Boy came with a light option, and you could have an add-on light package, like almost a flashlight option that you could hook up to your... Yeah. And so, I mean, if Nintendo was 8-bit, Game Boy had to have been 4-bit. I mean, it was pretty low.
It was between Atari and Nintendo, but it sold so many. It did better than any other handheld. It did better than 16-bit handheld. The Lynx.
The Sega.
The Sega Game Gear.
The Game Gears. Now, my friend had a Game Gear, and those were...
an Warzone.
Dude, a Game Gear was just like a Sega, but if you want to talk about batteries running out, Game Gear, if you're going without the wall plug-in, Game Gear lasted 4 minutes. I mean, 100% charged. You're playing Sonic 2, you got your first 5 or 6 rings, game shuts off. You got to plug it in. It's already done.
Game Boy even had at one point a camera add-on.
I do, and you could print. I remember you could print. It was was that Super Game Boy or was that?
No, it was just Game Boy printer and Game Boy camera. Super Game Boy was the Super Nintendo cartridge that you could put Game Boy cartridges in, and that was actually pretty fun. Transfer them to your Super Nintendo and play them. But yeah, that's cool.
In the Vanover household, we didn't have a Game Boy. We were lucky to have the consoles we had, like a Super Nintendo and a Nintendo. If we wanted a portable gaming system, we had those stupid Tiger handheld games that sucked. Like, it's like the design on the outside of the game was the most fun part of it. Playing the game itself, you'd be better off going to the dentist office and trying to catch all the rings on the little tube while you're waiting to get your tooth filled.
I love the Jurassic Park one where you're just running down a road the whole time, or the Hulk Hogan one, the Hulkamania Challenge or whatever. You wrestle Ted DiBiase, Jake Roberts, Earthquake, and Big Boss Man. And all it is like there's 1,000 little lines on the screen.
Yeah. On
the back, it's like an LCD thing. And all it does, for anybody that doesn't, for the young ones or whatever that don't remember Tiger, I probably had a full stack of these things back in the day. By the time it was done, these little lines would light up darker than the other ones, and that was like how they emulated graphics. But if you took it apart, you would see every possible animation on like this, like almost metal sheet. Did you ever do that? Did you ever take one apart?
No, I never. Well, I never took it apart because I was lucky enough to even have the ones I had. I had Jordan versus Bird and Batman.
I meant later in life or something.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Okay.
No,
they had an R Zone, which was like they were trying to capitalize on the shitty Virtual Boy, and it was this thing. It had a strap that went around your head.
I remember that.
Red thing here and a little shitty controller, and you're like trying to look up at this little square. You have to hold like a mirror here sometimes to even see it. And it was like a portable handheld that went around your head trying to emulate virtual reality, but it was the little shitty Tiger games, even smaller and harder to see.
It's like
I saw one person on the playground walking around.
Yeah, and he was just walking into the Eagle's Nest, just breaking his ass, going ass over tea kettle over all the playground equipment.
Playing Mortal Kombat on it. Imagine how bad that was.
What was the tagline for the R Zone? Hey kids, you like motion sickness? Well, guess what we've got for you. You're gonna throw your
graphics.
Yeah, you're gonna throw up your guts after you play this sucker. You're gonna be bumping into shit all over the place. Try the R Zone today.
The sad thing is, it was around longer than the Virtual Boy. I think it did better than the Virtual Boy did.
What?
I played one at Walmart, the Virtual Boy. It was right around the same time. It was right before N64 came out, and I remember playing it. And I was like, at first, I was like, I want one of those. And then I went and played it, and I did Mario Tennis. It was at Walmart.
Yeah.
And I got off it and was like, I don't want that.
God.
You had to sit down and like put your head up on it.
No way, man.
It wasn't even virtual reality. It wasn't even first person. But like 2 of the games are in first person. The rest you're just playing a game that's shitty red and black graphics that you have to stick your head up against this thing. And but a year later, I went back to that electronics section where they let you play demos.
Yeah.
And they had WCW NWO Revenge for the N64.
One of the greatest games that's to this day.
I used to take a tape recorder and record WCW entrances like NWO, Wolfpack, Four Horsemen, and all that. And whenever I'd play the game with a friend, because it didn't have the entrance music in the game, it was just like, dun 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 dun.
You'd play your own entrance
I'd play the music. I had Hogan's American Made and his NWO because you could change the costume on there. I had a lot of fun. I could still have fun playing that game. If you move down here, we'll have a round of NWO WCW Revenge. Somebody has actually taken that game, Alex, updated the graphics. It still looks like a 64 game. They've added a bigger roster, more stuff to it, and it's like a remix of that game for emulation. It's pretty cool.
Dude, that game was awesome. I remember trying to rent it when I was growing up, and it was always checked out. The only time I ever got to play it was I had a certain friend named Eric Thompson who owned the game. So if he came to a sleepover, we got to play it. If not, it was checked out every time you tried to get it. Like on the weekends, it's checked out.
A little Mandela effect thing, Alex. Do you remember Ric Flair and the Four Horsemen in the game?
Yeah.
Ric Flair was not in WCW NWO Revenge, but I swear he was. But he's not. He was not in the game. His contract was in dispute when the game went to market. He was in the first one, World Tour, but he was not in WCW NWO Revenge at all. And I swear I remember playing as Ric Flair
Yeah.
playing that game.
Wow,
But he's not in it.
That's insane. Do you know what else is insane? If you fail your driving test in Switzerland more than 3 times, Josh, you have to pass a psychological evaluation before being allowed to retake it.
I say let's implement that here in America. I'll vote for it.
They're like, this guy has failed 3 times. This is an easy test. Switzerland is a tiny country. They got little cute roads. This guy is a psychopath. There's this guy's a nutcase.
And he also talked about Orgy Club. So we're gonna put him through psychiatric help. Wow. You know, honestly, I've seen so many bad drivers on the road that scare the hell out of me. I think I'd be okay with that. Just to double check. It's also an unpopular opinion, but I think when you reach a certain age, you should have to retake the test anyways.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, because especially as you get older, your eyesight gets worse, your reaction time gets worse.
And the laws change.
Yeah, the laws change. So you're like basing your knowledge off of like, you know, I took the driving test in like, 2002 or something. So that was 20 years ago. Like, it's not like I'm brushing up on the DMV handbook, yearly.
I got my license, work license, hardship license, I think is what they call it. So let's see, that would have been 1998. So
you were driving around town as a 13-year-old?
As a 14-year-old.
Okay.
14, 15. So I'm 30, I'm about to be 38. So what is that, 24 years ago?
That's almost a quarter of a century.
I should take another test, is all I'm saying.
Dude, going to the DMV once every 24 years is still too much.
Dude, I went
DMV sucks.
The last time I went to get my license redone, I had to do the eye exam, and I didn't have my glasses. I'm supposed to wear glasses. And I went to take the test, and I was like, A, E, D, and she's like, let me stop you, sir. It's all numbers. It's like, oh, okay.
She's like, don't worry about it. You pass. My lunch break's really soon.
They let me do it again, and she let me do it like 3 times until I got it right and pushed me through.
Well, that's not good.
But, you know, I have corrective lenses when I'm driving, but I didn't have them when I took the test, and she pushed me through to let me do it. That's not cool.
The guy who runs the DMV in your hometown is a slashaholic. He's watching this episode. That lady gets fired, like, immediately as soon as this episode drops because you just ratted her out. You know what you just did?
I didn't say her name.
You did the equivalent of that guy talking about the orgies. You just ratted her out, man. She did
that
you
is
solid.
Not the same.
Yeah, she did you a solid. Hey, let's get into the last fun fact of the episode. What do you say, bud?
Let's do it.
All right.
Sorry, I had to stop a night orgy right there.
Hey, we're still... You had to stop it or encourage it, maybe. Hey, so we're actually going to stay in Europe for this one. In 2008, Finnish police found a dead mosquito while searching the inside of a stolen car. They actually tested the blood from the dead mosquito's last meal, which was obviously the blood in the mosquito, and successfully used the blood to identify the thief.
That's awesome. I don't know what I can add to that.
That's some next level shit. That's some CSI shit.
CSI Finland, you know?
I wonder
that's what my buddy Roger watches, I guess, Slasher Pepper. Do you watch that?
The CSI stuff, no, because I'm familiar with it, and it's the same formula every episode. It's like, oh, you know, the crimes are happening, murders are happening, it's got a pattern. Then they show the guy doing a couple murders early on the episode. Then he's got another victim that he's just about ready to kill. The CSI unit breaks into the house, stops him right at the last moment because this crack team of, you know, forensic scientists and police officers. It's the same episode, just with a different format every fucking episode.
Back in the day, I watched the first 5 seasons of CSI, the original CSI. Mm-hmm. And the season 5 finale is a 2-parter written and directed by Quentin Tarantino.
What?
And it's fucking awesome. It's the best episodes they ever did.
Of course.
But the problem is trying to follow that up, because they did like 20 fucking seasons or 15 seasons or something. I tried watching season 6, and nothing was as good as what Quentin had done, and I just lost interest in the show. I'm not a big fan of procedural anyways, but I liked the cast that was on it. But yeah, you should check out the season 5 episodes. It's 2 episodes, written and directed by Quentin Tarantino. It's pretty cool.
I just watched. I didn't just watch. I just bought the Blu-ray copy of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood by Quentin Tarantino. That movie is freaking excellent. So if you Slashaholics haven't, Slashaholics. If you haven't seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, do yourself a favor and watch that tonight. And I have a digital copy, so if anybody wants to get hit up for that, but Josh has first dibs. But
hey, let's do a giveaway. First person that's interested in this code, comment below. You have to comment a code word having to do with it. So what's the code word, Alex?
Code word is going to be a little double thing here. We're doing Slash Trax 30, which is also 30% off at
adcs.com.
Yeah, adcs.com. So first person to comment Slash Trax 30 in the comments below, and they want to see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and add it to their digital library, I will reply back with the digital code. So how about that?
We'll send you an email.
We'll send you an email so nobody else. Yeah, good call. Josh, let's get into some sports here, buddy.
Slash Trax Sports.
All right, Josh. First sports story of the episode, buddy. Wake up. Hey, don't fall asleep. Listen.
Wake me up when it's interesting.
Oh,
what do we got?
Little callback to the mean comment of the week there. All right. The Cleveland Browns are going to be paying former starting quarterback, who they just traded to the Carolina Panthers, Baker Mayfield, $588,235 in week number 1 to try and beat the Cleveland Browns. So the Browns are going to be paying this guy to try and beat them. Wrap your mind around that one. They traded him to the Panthers, and that just happens to be who they're playing week number 1 of the next season. Totally random.
They're going to pay him whether he wins or not, as long as he tries to beat them, or they're going to pay him if he beats them.
So he's not on the Browns anymore. The Browns traded him to the Panthers.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I got you.
And they just happen to be playing the Browns. But most times when someone gets traded, they don't have to still pay the guy who's traded. But in order for the Panthers to accept the trade, the Browns were like, "We want to trade this guy, but we'll pay part of his salary because
so paying for their competition."
Yeah, they're paying for him to leave.
Wow.
So in essence, they're paying him over $500,000 to try to beat them.
Maybe his life movie should be called Sadness. That's sad. That's all that is. It's sad.
He's being paid over $500,000 to try and beat the team that traded him. That's just the craziest story ever. And also, the second sports story of the night is also about Baker Mayfield. The same guy Baker Mayfield was asked about playing the Browns in week 1 of the next season. Baker Mayfield says, "I have that game circled and marked on my calendar." Of course you do, Baker. It's literally the first game of the season. It's not like you're looking forward to like game 11 or like you're focusing on game 9. It's the first game of the season. Of course you have it circled. Everybody does.
That's great.
You are the weirdest guy ever. We're going to end, so this is like the shortest sports section we've ever done. And then let's get into the third sports story of the night. Lou Gehrig. Are you familiar with the name Lou Gehrig? Former Yankees all-time great first baseman. Lou Gehrig's disease, which is ALS, was actually named after Lou Gehrig because I think he was like the first like high-profile documented case of it. And Lou Gehrig's disease is when a person basically loses all muscle function in their body. And Mongo McMichael, the WCW, he was in the Four Horsemen. He was a commentator. He actually is battling Lou Gehrig's disease right now.
A great streamer that I watched for a long time named Puppers. He came down with it about a year and a half ago, and it's really progressed fast. He's a really good guy, too. If anybody's watching that likes Dead by Daylight and stuff like that, look up Puppers on YouTube and Twitch and send him some support. He's going through a hard time right now. But, yeah.
Well, I'm sorry
I didn't know about Mongo.
No, I'm sorry to hear that about Puppers. I hope that he's staying strong and he's fighting his ass off.
He is.
Lou Gehrig. Oh, so Mongo McMichael. The Mongo McMichael's not even the story. He just happens to be battling Lou Gehrig's disease right now. So if you guys followed WCW or you followed the Chicago Bears, maybe go to his social media and drop some kind words to Mongo McMichael. He wasn't the greatest wrestler, but he definitely was memorable. He was actually
in commentating had a little chihuahua.
Yeah,
costumes on.
Yeah, he was in the Four Horsemen. It was a really weird addition to the later groups of the Four Horsemen. It was weird that he was in it, but he was also a little known fact. He was in the WWF for like one match. He didn't wrestle, but he was in Lawrence Taylor's corner for when he wrestled Bam Bam Bigelow at WrestleMania 11 in the main event. So yeah, Mongo was there.
And he dated Deborah for a while, right?
I think he was married to her, Deborah McMichael. That's probably where she got her last name. Before Jeff Jarrett snuck up and, did Jeff Jarrett actually date Deborah, or Stone Cold married Deborah?
Stone Cold married her.
Yeah, Jeff Jarrett was just in character with her. He wasn't actually with her. But anyway, so the last sports story, Lou Gehrig, the man that ALCS, Lou Gehrig's disease is named after. This is a little known fact. He actually had more RBIs than games played in a season 5 different times. So, baseball season is typically 162 games. He had more runs batted in than games played in a season 5 different times.
Wow, I got to be honest with you. I had no idea what RBI meant until you just said it.
Run batted in.
Right. So he's the kind of person that they would use him as the cleanup hitter. Bases loaded.
He would be number 3 or number 4. So number 3 is typically your best hitter. 4 is usually your biggest power hitter.
There's a name for that, right? Like the fourth batter or whatever.
Cleanup hitter. You're the cleanup hitter.
I got it right. I got it right.
You got it right.
Oh
so
God.
you get a Slash Trax sticker at the end of the show. We're gonna put it right on your. We'll put it right on the Knights having sex on your face.
I said cleanup hitter, and I was like, that ain't right. I'm gonna find the right word on my phone real quick while he's talking and sound smart. But
no, it's cleanup.
It's
cleanup. Well, no, it's just crazy to think that he had more runs batted in than games played, because nowadays if you get 100 RBI in a 162 game season, you're like one of the best players in all of baseball. He was routinely hitting more RBIs than in total games that he played. Just incredible to think about. It's like a stat that it's never going to happen again. That's insane. Let's segue from Slash Trax sports, and let's move right into your favorite subject of the night, your favorite segment. Let's go into wrestling.
Pro wrestling.
I love your graphics. That's great, man.
Let's not be able to get him in this episode. And it's like, I love your graphics, but there's nothing there.
Just me talking shit.
Just me going, imagination.
1 year ago, we lost Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff. So it's been a year since Mr. Wonderful passed away.
Who's in my corner over here?
His ghost.
Who are you? It's gone.
Mr. Wonderful. So when I think of Mr. Wonderful, there's a couple things I think about. I think of WrestleMania 1. When obviously he was with Hot Rod and Ace Bob Orton, which we talked about earlier, against Hogan and Mr. T and the Superfly Jimmy Snuka. And I also think about when Hogan and him had their falling out, and they're falling out because they were originally tag team partners. Apparently, in the segment where Paul Orndorff turns on Hulk Hogan to begin with, Orndorff is at the gym, and Hogan is late and did not call Paul Orndorff. And the segment is Orndorff yelling at Hogan about how he's late, and it's unacceptable. And that was like the beginnings of the feud. I'm not even making this up, dude.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's funny you say that, because there was this back in the 80s, Slashaholics, Hogan was like trying to put his name on everything, okay? Because Hulkamania was running wild, brother. And he put out this product called the Hulk Hogan Training System or something for Hulkamaniacs. So it was like this thing marketed to kids, and it came with like a little dumbbell, a jump rope, a booklet to tell you how, what
A
workouts
headband.
to do.
I remember
a
this.
headband.
I remember
and a
this.
videotape. And the videotape of the Hulk Hogan workout for Hulkamaniacs, you would think would be Hulk Hogan working out and telling his Hulkamaniacs how to do it. Right?
Yeah, because it's his set.
It was Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff he was the one on the video. On the Hulkamania Hulk Hogan workout tape, it was Mr. Wonderful giving you the directions.
Are you being serious? Hulk Hogan is not on his own workout tape?
Go to YouTube or something to watch it. It's real. Mr. Wonderful is the one on the VHS tape that came with the Hulkamania Hulk Hogan workout.
What the hell? One last thing about Mr. Wonderful. The other thing I was going to say, besides WrestleMania 1 and then him and Hogan falling out, I remember hearing the story about Mr. Wonderful just absolutely whipping Vader's ass in shower flip-flops and a towel. Did you ever hear that story?
Yeah. Go ahead and tell the Slashaholics, though.
Okay,
is it as interesting as Sid Vicious and them with the stabbing of the scissors?
Where he stabbed Arn Anderson with scissors? It's not.
He almost killed him.
It's not as interesting, but it's pretty interesting. So Vader was supposed to. So at the time, Paul Orndorff in WCW was a backstage agent, and he was supposed to he was a kind of a timekeeper. He's like, okay, Vader, we need you to go.
John Laurinaitis is now.
Yeah, except for he's not sexually harassing the paralegals. But anyway, so Paul Orndorff is like, hey, Vader, we need to get you out of the locker room. We need to get you. We got some interviews and some promos we need you to cut, and we got to get it done because we want to be done for the day. And Vader basically tells Orndorff he's going to take his time and to fuck off, basically. So Orndorff wasn't going to take that disrespect. Orndorff, who was taking a shower at the time, comes out of the shower, puts a towel around his waist. He's in shower flip-flops so he doesn't get warts on his feet or whatever. Proceeds to beat the living shit out of Vader. And everybody who saw the fight says that, Vader at the time was like 450 pounds doing moonsaults, super athletic, badass guy who had a reputation for being really stiff in the ring. I mean, he ripped off Mick Foley's ear in a match. He punched it off. So, anyway, you'd think Vader would probably take an old Paul Orndorff, but Paul Orndorff not only beat the shit out of him, he beat him down in a towel and flip-flops. So,
and the towel never fell off.
No, he kept the towel on, and Vader went out on time after he got his ass whooped and finished all the promos and interviews, and they went to dinner that night and had a great day. I don't know.
It's like, God damn it, I'm wrestling. I'm having to go do Boy Meets World.
Yeah.
Give me
if you ever Frankie's dad.
Yeah.
Man.
If you ever want to see something funny, watch the Sweet 16 episode of Boy Meets World, and you can hear, why can't I think of his name right now? Brother Love.
Bruce Pritchard?
Yeah, Bruce Pritchard. I don't like him a whole lot because I think he's full of shit half the time. He's telling stories.
I think I think Bruce Pritchard is he's such a corporate WWE stooge that you only hear what he knows Vince would want him to say.
Yeah,
I think
it's people that support,
Yeah, I don't think that you're gonna hear 100% of what actually happened because he's he's just he's a stooge.
Well, during this episode of Boy Meets World, Vader is playing Frankie's dad, and Frankie's trying to get a closer relationship with him. So he becomes Vader's manager. He's going to give him tips during the match, the big match. He's fighting Jake the Snake Roberts. And this is Jake the Snake Roberts right around the time of Austin 316, right before it. So, Vince is making him wear that snake colored
because he's super
shirt.
Out of shape. He's fat. Yeah.
Anyways, Bruce Pritchard is doing the Brother Love voice, commentating the match all by himself for Boy Meets World. It is the cringiest shit. If you're a wrestling fan, it is the cringiest commentary ever. I can't play a clip of it here. You can probably find a clip of it on YouTube. It's from the Sweet 16 episode of Boy Meets World. If not, Disney Plus has the show. If you have that, it's any wrestling fan has to watch that just for the cringe factor. But it's also cool to see Vader and Jake the Snake.
Brother Love.
The crowd was pissed, man, because all these Corey and Sean and Frankie are like getting in the ring, and it's breaking kayfabe, and like people were like literally pissed that they were in there. All the cheering and stuff is like piped in cheering; it's fake.
Yeah.
The crowd, you hear all this clapping and applause and cheering, but the crowd's just like.
Well, they probably had the extra piping in applause already on cue for Roman Reigns and Hulk Hogan and Cena back in the day, because those guys used to get their ass booed off all the time.
I told you about Good Humor bringing back the wrestling WWE ice cream bars, right?
No?
Yeah, they're coming back out. WWE is re-releasing them, but they're only going to have Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins bars to start with, and you don't have to pay for it, but every Monday and Wednesday they're going to show up at your house and take the bars and shove them down your throat.
Okay. And hit you over the head with them too.
Yeah, only Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. So no, they actually have put them back out, but they're ice cream sandwiches. You can get them at Walmart.
Okay.
They're not on a stick anymore, but they're pretty good.
We're gonna have to look into those. And you know what else we're gonna have to look into besides Bruce Pritchard sucking on commentary? Because what I wanted to say really quick before we get into the next wrestling story, you want to put some asses in the seats? Have Brother Love in character be the only one commentating on a match. That would be, I love you, bro.
I love this suplex.
Screw that, dude. I could barely stand. Brother Love was only good, those segments, for like getting his ass kicked by Hogan, or he was like, I don't even know what to say. He was worthless. He was a heel. They used him to get the baby faces in bad situations so the bad wrestler could come out and whip their ass. I mean, he did his job. I hated him, so he did a good job. So
he did a good job.
Yeah, he actually did a good job because I hated him.
Who else does a good job is 80stees.com, right up there. See that link?
Yeah.
Go to 80stees.com, use /Trax30 as your promo code at checkout. Get 30% off your purchase. A lot of great stuff there. You're going to love it. What's that last wrestling story, brother?
No, it's not the last. It's the second.
The next one.
Okay. So, I don't know. It's been a week since we, did another episode, so let's get into it. WWE's Vince McMahon. They did more investigations, so they're investigating him still. So, in case you didn't know, Vince McMahon had to step down as the CEO and president of WWE. So, Stephanie McMahon, his daughter, is in charge of WWE right now because he never denied it. He was paying hush money to a paralegal that him and John Laurinaitis were swapping in between offices and just apparently nailing. He was using company money, basically hush money, to shut her up about sleeping with her, on the job. So anyway, as if that wasn't bad enough, the investigation has led to the uncovering that Vince McMahon has paid $12 million more to 4 other women. So not just the paralegal anymore. Now it's 4 more women. Allegedly, Vince McMahon paid over $12 million more in hush money. And one of them was a former talent in 2005. They haven't given her name because she signed an NDA, non-disclosure agreement. So, 2005, he apparently forced her to give him a blowjob.
Is it
oral sex. And then she had a big push, and then when he made advances on her again, he pushed her down the card instead. He took her push away, and then she was released later on.
Was it Lita?
No, I don't want to be the podcast that speculates, but all the other podcasts I've seen has narrowed it down to Maria Kanellis.
Makes sense. I can see that.
Apparently, it might have been Maria Kanellis, but allegedly, I don't know. We don't have facts. I'm not going to say it was. I'm not going to say it wasn't. So I'm not going to go there. But
so Vince McMahon is like 100. I'm guessing he forgot to send off, because of his dementia or something, he forgets to send off a hush money check, and they start telling on him. I mean, how did all this blow up?
I think, what I think is going on? I think that somebody wants him out of power, and somebody leaked it. Because all these women signed NDAs, so they're not talking. It's the people around them that are talking. They aren't the ones who were blowing it up. So either somebody in the WWE office is just sick of Vince McMahon and they're leaking it, or somebody really pissed off Vince McMahon that signed an NDA and they didn't stop people around them from leaking it. It's one or the other. He shouldn't
be in charge anymore anyways, man.
He's a relic.
He's a monster, too.
Apparently, one of the stories, there was a female referee in the early 90s. Her last name's Critterton. He apparently tried to force her to give him a hand job or blow him in the limo, and he was going to give her a big pay raise, and she said no. And then she ended up on Donahue telling her story, and then everybody thought she was a liar because, well, Vince McMahon's married. Why would he do, So anyway, there's so many weird stories about sexual abuse with him. How is he not canceled already? How is he not canceled?
Dude, there's another guy that you wonder why he hasn't been canceled or arrested. Maybe because they're such good friends. Maybe he's keeping him out of trouble.
You're talking about former President Donald Trump?
Former president.
Is that what you're inferring?
Criminal in chief, yes.
All right, let's move away from...
Dude, seriously about Vince, though,
yeah.
I don't know why. Anybody else would be canceled right now or would be facing charges.
But he's not. He's Teflon, apparently.
He's got friends in high places, money. He's got the money. So
I don't see how he's going to get out of this one.
There's no way.
This seems like what's going to be his undoing. You know what? I cannot wait for the 4-part season premiere of Dark Side of the Ring season 9 when they cover all this. Can't wait.
You know what his chances of getting out of this are?
No chance in hell.
No chance. Yeah.
That's what he's got.
No
you know who else didn't have a chance in hell? SummerSlam 93, Josh. I don't know if you're familiar with this.
Hogan and Yokozuna?
No. So in SummerSlam in 93 in the WWF was a weird transition time. Hulkamania was starting to really kind of wind down because of all the steroid trial stuff, and Hogan was just going into his 40s. Bret Hart was starting to establish himself as the main event WWF champion because Vince was going to smaller, technical, less physique-oriented bodies to be the champion. So Bret was the guy, okay? So there was actual rumors that Hulk Hogan was going to wrestle Bret Hart for the WWF Championship at SummerSlam 93. Now, these were urban legends, but it was confirmed recently. The poster, we haven't seen the poster, but there are... Bret Hart, in his book that I have, his autobiography, talks in detail about how he and Hulk Hogan showed up, took publicity photos of them having a tug-of-war over the belt for SummerSlam 93. Apparently... Bruce Pritchard on Something to Wrestle With his podcast also confirmed this, but the deal is the photos have never showed up. Nobody's actually ever. They're buried in Titan Towers somewhere underneath all of Vince McMahon's NDAs with all of his former female talent somewhere. So anyway, my question is, Josh, why didn't they ever have that as a main event? And if they did have that as a main event, would it have been believable? Because I just don't see how they could have had Bret beat Hogan cleanly.
Well, Hogan got out of that by saying that Bret was too small. It wouldn't be a good match.
Yeah.
He used creative control to get out of it. But, there's actually something about a house show at some point where Bret and Hogan worked each other.
Really?
And, there's this site, I can't remember it right now, but you can see every match ever wrestled in WWE history, like house shows and everything.
Please get me that website.
Yeah, kind of like leading up to 92 WrestleMania, Royal Rumble and stuff. Hogan and Ric Flair were having house show matches.
I knew that.
And Vince said it didn't go over good, so he booked them, Macho Man and Flair and Hogan and Sid. I'm wondering if Hogan and Bret did like a house show match and Hogan's like, nope, not passing it to this tiny feller or something. I don't know. Hogan was an asshole. So.
At the time, they both would have been baby faces, and the only way that Hogan was going to lose the belt or lose the match, he would have had to lose cleanly to Bret. So he would have had to submit, which he wouldn't have. I think the only possible way that you could have had a finish with that match would be Bret caught Hogan with a roll-up or a schoolboy. I think it
Or
would have...
Hogan passed out.
Or Hogan passed out from the
They don't do the
sharpshooter.
arm thing anymore. I missed that.
Oh, the 1, 2, 3, yeah.
Yeah, they got that.
There's no way though. I mean, that's babyface versus babyface is a really hard match to pull off. The crowd is always divided. Hogan at the time hadn't been a heel since the 70s with his first run with the WWF.
That's what makes it kind of possible that maybe it wasn't in the works. I don't know. I never know.
I don't see how it could have happened, and I honestly don't know how the finish would have went. I think Bret would have had to have caught him with a roll up or snuck him in a small package or something. That's the only thing I see happening. Let's get into the horror and spooky news for the episode.
Horror and spooky news.
All right, here we go. So, do you remember the movie Orphan that came out in 2009? Yeah. Okay, the Russian
an old person. Yeah.
She was a Russian girl at an orphanage. She was supposed to be 8 or 9. It turned out she was 40, and she was adopted by some parents, and she turned out to be a psychopath because she wanted to sleep with the dad who adopted her or something.
Yeah, I remember.
If I remember it correctly. So horror fans have spoken. The horror universe has spoken. The movie that did not need a sequel is getting a sequel 13 years later. Orphan pre-equal. Orphan First Kill has been announced. It's going to debut on Paramount Plus on August 19th. And yes, Slashaholics, the same girl who played the 9-year-old, who turned out to be a 40-year-old, is coming back to reprise her role. I saw the trailer today before shooting the episode that we're doing right now. She looks exactly the same. But at the same time, I don't think she looked like 10 or 9 to begin with. She looks like she's, 30.
So now we're in on the secret in the prequel.
Yeah, and it's showing how she is training herself to pretend to be a kid. It's showing how she's going about becoming the character. I think her name was Esther in the film, if I'm correct. If I remember it correctly. I don't know.
It's still not the worst sequel ideas ever. The Last Exorcism Part 2. Really? The Last Exorcism Part 2?
The Last Exorcism Part 9.
The Last Exorcism, I guess they could have called it. Or A Haunting in Connecticut, Ghost of Georgia. What the
Was the character's name Georgia?
I think it's just... So,
okay.
I got nothing else. I'm just saying, there's some winners out there. I guess Orphan 2 can go with that.
Well, it's the movie that nobody wanted or asked for. Here you go. Paramount Plus, enjoy this movie that nobody wanted.
Hey, Dead by Daylight, you say you're the Hall of Fame for horror icons? There you go. There's your next chapter.
Esther,
Orphan, the prequel.
Yeah, First Kill. All right, here's a big time... Here's a big time spooky news story, Josh. Yesterday, to be exact, was the 20-year anniversary of Halloween Resurrection being released in the movie theaters. You like that movie, Josh? What do you feel about that movie? Halloween Resurrection.
If you want to know how we feel about it, watch Slash Trax episode 22.
Yeah, brought to you by Dangertainment.
We had a lot of fun with that one.
That was our first Slash Trax episode that went over 30,000 views.
Did it go over 30? Wow.
It's over 30. Well, actually, no. No, that's a lie. It was our first Slash Trax episode that went over 20,000 views.
20,000, yeah.
Yeah. I have a couple thoughts about that film. Number one, smallest and tiniest and least convincing Michael Myers in the franchise. And number two, Busta Rhymes must have had something in his contract before he signed on to do the film where he's like, I'm going to look and be presented as stronger than Michael Myers.
Right. Trick or treat, motherfucker.
Yeah, he's doing spinning heel kicks. He's impervious to pain. He's just an absolute badass. And I'm not talking about Michael Myers. I'm talking about Busta Rhymes.
I even got my neighbor, who is really short, and had Michael Myers masks to be Michael Myers in the little cutaway scenes that we did for it.
Yeah,
comedy sketch.
I saw it. It's great.
He was way shorter than me. I thought it was perfect.
And you're like, no, God, no! And he's chasing you in the POV, and the camera's facing upwards at you. All right, here's the third spooky news story of the night. This movie is a movie that it's one of my favorite memories of being a child. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's probably top 15 Alex Vanover movie choices. The original Fright Night is finally getting a 4K Ultra Blu-ray release, and it's going to have over 14 hours of special features. The copy of Fright Night that I own, I bought at 7-Eleven at 3 o'clock in the morning. When 7-Eleven, the convenience store, used to sell DVDs in a little yellow cardboard container for $1. I just happened to find Fright Night and bought it for $1. Otherwise, I could not find it anywhere on DVD.
I'm about to get canceled because I'm the 80s slasher librarian.
Yeah.
And I've never seen Fright Night or the remake. Or Fright Night 2, Electric Boogaloo.
You don't need to see the other Fright Nights. You need to see the first Fright Night because you will be a different librarian after you watch it. You'll be a different man.
I've been told I should watch it. I've just never been a big vampire fan.
You don't have to be. Chris Sarandon, he plays the main antagonist. He's the main villain. He's the cop in Child's Play. He's also he's in The Princess Bride. He's amazing. I'm telling you, dude. I'll give you a quick rundown. Slashaholics, Fright Night. Kid sees a vampire kill a lady next door. So this is his new name.
Style?
Exactly. He sees that he's a vampire. The vampire knows that he knows. So they both know. So they're in this weird cat and mouse game where the vampire doesn't want to kill him because he wants to keep being a vampire and stay undercover. So he doesn't want to kill his neighbor. Neighbor decides to take it to the next level, tries to blow the whistle on him, and all hell ensues. It's a great movie. Rear Window, vampire style. It's amazing. 85. If anything looked like 1985, this film looks like 1985. Great memories, great movie. I'm excited.
Awesome.
All right, last horror story of the episode. Robert Englund last week appeared, supposedly, allegedly, I've seen this story before, in Freddy makeup for the last time at the London Film and Comic Con. So
really, because he said he was going to do it for the last time ever on the Goldbergs.
Yeah. So Robert Englund showed up in full Freddy Krueger makeup. He didn't have the sweater or anything. He had the face makeup on. He had the glove. Signing autographs, taking photos and stuff. Looked great. The only thing that looks different is Robert Englund is in his 70s, and you can see in his eyes that he's much older. I think that's not to his detriment, though, Josh, because I think if they do a Freddy movie and he comes back for one more film, since he was defeated in Freddy's Dead, he could come back as a weakened, older version of Freddy, and this is like his one last chance to get his power back.
Okay. Yeah, like Blumhouse could really do something, or Blumhouse, whatever, could really do something like that.
You could do anything. I remember that...
they could ignore all the sequels and do a direct sequel to the first one, Halloween 2018.
Absolutely. Or they could take, instead of doing, Part 4, Dream Master, pick up right after Dream Warriors, Part 3, and not have Kincaid and, Ira and everyone dead. They could do anything. I don't know. I just think that he could do one more movie. I think it's ridiculous that he's saying it's the final time when, if you have listened to a Robert Englund interview and you're familiar with the man, if the check was big enough, Robert Englund is going to be Freddy again. He loves that character. He created that character. Yeah. He'll do it again. If it's a good script, the fans, I'm telling you right now, Josh, I've said it before, if that man shows up in Freddy Krueger makeup with a brand new movie that's tied into the original 6, people will go see it and it'll make $100 million.
Never say never, bitch.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And Josh, never say never, because we're getting into headlines. We're gonna wrap up the show with headlines, baby. All right.
We're gonna talk about headlines. Let's do it.
No, we're gonna talk about mites having sex on your face and blowing little mite loads on your forehead and in your nose and stuff. Yeah.
Speaking of hair, there's the update there. It's not cut. It's just
still looks great.
I've actually got a full ponytail going on with it now. So,
dude, I still want to send you some butterfly clips, dude. We need to take care of you. We need to get you some scrunchies, dude. Some hair ties.
Some tiger leopard print.
Yeah. All right, dude. Starbucks, the coffee shop, a little small coffee shop. You ever heard of Starbucks before?
Is it like Sweet Bay?
No, it's like a little up and coming coffee place. Maybe
Okay, a
you've
little
never.
mom and pop shop.
Yeah, maybe you've heard of it. So anyway, Starbucks had to pull their new chicken sandwich from the menu due to quality standard concerns. And Josh, let me tell you what the standard concerns were.
Okay.
Just days after launching its new chicken sandwich, Starbucks abruptly pulled it from the menu, saying it didn't meet the company's quality standards. But some customers said that the chicken sandwich caused diarrhea, stomach pain, and vomiting shortly after eating the sandwich.
Correct, Sarah. Are you working with them? Is that what happened here, Correct, Sarah? Stay out of the chicken sandwiches, okay?
The chicken
we don't need
sandwich.
No anal leakage.
The chicken sandwich at Starbucks was coated with a Panko Doritos 3D coating, and it also. Here's the deal, dude.
Dude, have you ever said, "Hey, I want a chicken sandwich. I'm going to Starbucks because, God damn it, I want a chicken sandwich from Starbucks."
How the hell are they even handling poultry back there? Don't they have a bunch of coffee machines and French presses and all this other shit? How are they making chicken sandwiches back there? It's got to be a microwave situation.
Like a bag or something,
Yeah.
There you go.
Got to be a hot case or a microwave situation. So yeah, why are they making chicken sandwiches? And then number two, what if somebody really liked the chicken sandwich so much, but they got diarrhea and vomited every time? They're like, I'm going into this chicken sandwich knowing it's A, delicious, but B, I'm going to be shitting and puking. But I'm still going to eat it.
Not puking and stuff, but like the spicy chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A. It's given me a hard time before, but I keep on eating that bastard because it tastes so good. But I doubt that the Starbucks chicken sandwich is anywhere close to as good as that.
It's just like you with the Ecto Cooler. Like, you're going to drink it, but you're going to have a little bit of leakage. Yeah. I was going to say one more thing about this story. So they're saying the quality control wasn't up to their standards. So Starbucks looked at the situation. They saw what was going on with the diarrhea and the vomiting and the stomach pains. And instead of addressing those issues, they just said it wasn't up to their standards. So the bar for Starbucks is, about 6 inches right off the ground, apparently, huh? Okay. We'll have to look into that story maybe in further episodes and follow up with that one, because I want to see what happens with that in the future. What do you think?
Yeah, we'll do a Slash Trax follow-up on that one.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. So this next story might be my favorite story of the episode. Pizza shop worker recently was taken down after he tried to rob a pizza place. The employees who worked at the pizza shop ended up taking this robber down, and they held him down until police showed up. So when the police showed up, they took the mask off the robber, and the robber turned out to be the former manager of that very pizza place.
And he would have got away with it, too, if it wasn't those Mexican kids.
Let's just see who you really are.
Old man Vanover, the former manager of Pizza Place.
Yeah, so he gets caught, and they take the mask off him, and he tries to tell the police that it was all just a joke. It was just a prank gone wrong. He didn't really want to rob the place.
I had an old friend that worked at JCPenney, and he told me that he stole from the register. And then the next day, took the money back and went and told HR or something that he said, I took this out of the registry yesterday and brought it back today to show you how bad your security is. And that, I think I would be an asset as a security manager, to oversee this stuff. And
So
they proceeded to tell him to sit tight. They were calling the police.
Exactly.
He proceeded to start crying and begging them not to, and they proceeded to fire him and tell him to get the hell out of their store. So not a genius. He was not a genius, but that was his plan. To act like it was all part of a thing to show them that he's an asset.
Okay, so I have a life story that's really close to that. So one of my first jobs ever was at a grocery store when I was younger, and my brother also had. He also ended up working at the same grocery store at a different part of our lives. But I remember it was like one of my first or second days at work. It was Safeway. And anyway, so they're giving me the tour of the back room, and in the back room of the Safeway, there's photos of the people who got caught shoplifting. And yeah, so like they can't come back. They're 86 or whatever. So be on the lookout if they come in. They can't come in here. They got caught shoplifting. So this is like my second or third day on the job. They're just showing me around. And in the shoplifting photos is a photo of my mother.
Oh no!
My mom was one of the people that was on and they're like, yeah, if you see any of these people, be on the lookout. And I was like, oh, absolutely, yes, sir, no problem. If I see them, you'll be the first person I tell. My mom, she got caught shoplifting batteries.
I was about to say she might have been, getting you some food when you were younger or something.
No, well, batteries are just as important, especially when I was a kid, because
you had a Game Gear and you needed to keep it playing longer than 4 minutes. And
no, I was a fat kid. I was lazy. I wasn't getting up to change the channel manually. I had to be able to flip it from the chair. So she was looking out for me. Yeah, kind of. But anyway, yeah, I remember they're like, if you see any of these people, let me know. And it's like, oh yeah, no problem. Hey, Mom. Last story of the night, man. Very last story. Yeah. Okay. So this episode's flown by. So Florida man pulls no punches in brutal obituary for his father.
Oh no.
So yeah, so it was published in the Florida Times-Union newspaper this week.
It's probably honest.
He is honest. It's kind of crazy. So the son submitted the obituary after his dad died and said his dad was a narcissist and an abusive alcoholic whose death proves that evil does, in fact, eventually die. He also goes on to say that his father's hobbies included abusing his first wife. So he posted this obituary about his father, and his dad must have been Michael Myers, apparently, because evil dies tonight. Oh, wait, you haven't seen that movie. I apologize.
Uh-oh.
Spoiler alert.
Haven't seen Halloween Kills.
You haven't seen Halloween Kills. But no, so proof, evil does in fact die. This guy posts the obituary, basically airs out all the family's dirty laundry about the dad. And I actually read more into this story instead of just headline this time, Josh. The family applauded him for telling the truth about how the father treated them and how he lived his life. He had multiple children from different women that he didn't father, like that he didn't take care of. Because you can have a child, but you may be a dad, but you're not a father.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
many obituaries and funerals, if we were to go by them, by what they say, there'd be no bad people that ever died.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is actually kind of, it's fun. It's funny as hell, but it's also kind of a breath of fresh air.
Yes.
And you know what? This is totally, I'm not saying this for jokes or for anything. If you live your life and you don't treat your family the way that you're supposed to, you don't support your family emotionally, financially, whatever, you deserve to have this happen to you. There's a special place in hell for the man or the woman who doesn't take care of their children. And what you do as a human being, whether it's as a father, a mother, a brother, a sister, a friend, whatever, has a cause and effect. So treat people in your life like you want to be treated. It's just that simple. Be excellent to each other. I've never gotten in trouble being nice to somebody. And that's it, Josh. That's all I got to say. I'm getting off the soapbox. Let's end the episode, buddy.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Josh LaRue with the Slash Trax Network. Be sure to check out 80stees.com. Slash Trax 30 is going to get you 30% off when you use that promo code at checkout. Check out our Patreon. Link in the description and probably right here on the screen. Be sure to be excellent to each other out there. And good night, and have a pleasant tomorrow. Say good night, Alex.
Good night, Alex. Mahalo, dog.
Piper's better than Hogan.
Bullshit.
Reality check, brother. You got that going?
No, I'm trying not to pummel you through the screen right now. I'm going to drop the atomic leg right on your throat as soon as this episode's over.